motion. I want you to curve up your body, girl, wine on it. Don't waste time, girl, grind on it. Smile on it, smile on it. Lord, wine up your body, girl, grind on it. Don't waste time, girl, slide on it. Smile on it, smile on it. I am motion, wine go down. Shake it like we do it and slow motion. Jack it one side.
WEFM, the new fresh sound. WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, SVG, and we are back for our Talk to Me segment. Time here in SVG. It is now 9:26, and Ari has left the building. So it's just good old little me, and Rajiv has volunteered to join me this morning for our Talk to Me segment. All right, Rajiv, morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good in the area,
Yeah,
Sun is
airy?
shining,
You
got a little bit of rain, so, the place kind of balance out.
Yeah, you hope aesthetic and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything all right. All right. Iron man. All right. So we are in our Talk to Me segment. As I said before, this is the segment where we allow you, the listeners, to give your comments or questions or to pose a question to us that you wish for us to answer to get our opinions on something, right? So the phone lines are open. The number to call or to WhatsApp is 457-9997. All right. So while we wait to see if anybody has any questions or comments or anything that they wish to raise, in the meantime, we're going to pose a question to you as the listening audience, right? And our question is, should first impressions be lasting impressions? Right? Now, it is something that we would have grown up hearing where somebody always says, you have to make your first impression count for what it is, because that is the lasting impression that persons would have of you as an individual. But is it always correct? And is it always right for us to, let's say, judge somebody based on the first encounter or the first time that we've encountered them? Is it correct for us to judge them based on that? What are your thoughts on it, Rajiv?
I think the first impression is very important, but I'm not 100% sure if that should be the only impression you have of a person. Or, also too, it doesn't even just apply to a person. It could be like an activity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first time you ever caught a minivan in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they had a terrible experience, and it's like, I never catching public transport again in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because of how bad it is. But then, you could give yourself the opportunity. You might get on a different minibus and it's a more positive experience. You might get on with a mature driver who isn't, playing Need for Speed and stuff like that. But then with persons, so you give a person the opportunity to redeem themselves.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with it. I have never really subscribed to the point of first impression being a lasting impression, because especially when I'm talking about an individual in a sense, right? Let's say I go down the road and I meet Karen cussing, right? Karen just carrying on, and he, what do you call it? Flailing your hands, right? And he's using profanities, etc. Now, yes, that might be the first time that I'm seeing Karen, but would it be correct for me to walk away and assume that Karen is an aggressive person, or Karen is a person who is out for confusion, right? I think sometimes we have to sort of stop and ask ourselves the question is, what is the reason for him acting the way in which he did at that particular point in time? And I tend to think that sometimes we stick labels or attach labels to persons based on that first encounter.
And another aspect to it as well, it's where you want to know whose responsibility is it to have that perception changed. So for instance, you and I have a negative encounter. Now, maybe it's something that you did. Is it on you now to go out of your way to make an effort to see that, okay, this is actually who Roleza Samuel is. She isn't this person who I encountered last week. Or is it for me now, who had the bad experience, to try to approach and say, maybe, she could be a more positive person on a better day.
And you also brought up the point of what you mentioned fans. But one of the other things that I always look at too, persons are quick to put people and businesses on blast, right? You go to a particular restaurant, you're not happy with a service there, or you have an encounter with somebody who is selling you something. And for whatever reason, they may have acted in a particular way. And we're quick, as I said, to put persons on blast on social media in particular based off of one encounter. No, I'm not saying that the way in which somebody acts towards you, especially in a business capacity, that it's correct, right? But we also have to remember that we are encountering humans, right? There are times when best persons within that business should find a way to sort of placate the person in a sense so that they don't end up taking it to social media. But I always say that I can't necessarily, I give people or businesses at least 2-3 chances, right? And after that, then I say that would, after the 2-3 chances, then to me that forms a habit. And this is how I would judge a particular business place.
Yeah. For me, I'm a bit harsher when it comes to first impressions when it comes to businesses though. Especially depending on the service. Like say for instance, you go to a mechanic.
You and this mechanic story. Now, if you don't know anything about Rajiv has a serious love for his vehicle, and I'd leave it at that.
Nah, I don't think I love my vehicle. Don't lie on my name. But no, like like certain services, you could only experience it poorly one time, and yet you have to say like no. Maybe say for instance, you can kind of forget to adjust your brakes after doing a change or something like that. Would you really want to take a chance on somebody that's that careless or whatever? So with businesses, I think it's a bit harsher. Let me say order a wedding cake and the person brings some dry cake.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the thing with a wedding cake. You should not be ordering multiple wedding cakes, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
at
you never
one
know.
time. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the recommendation.
Life happens, maybe you ended with a young lady and you forgot to ask her before, and you realize that she don't want to have 2.1 children. So then you wanted to do your duty to your country. So okay, well, I'm gonna move on to somebody.
Oh, you forgot to ask the question beforehand?
Yeah.
Wow.
She only wanted 1.1 and said no. Due to my national duty, I have to have 2.1.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I try to give businesses a bit of a bly, right? I tend to write them off after the third one. So somebody is saying, hey, first impressions are always something to lean on. People change up all the time. There's a saying, never judge a book by its cover. When you open the book, there is so much you can learn by reading on and understanding, figuratively speaking. And I think that's the reason why it is for me. It's difficult to just let that first impression be the last impression. But what I will say is, even though I may, let's say in the same example with Karen, I see him acting in particular when on that particular day based on something that has happened. It would stay in my mind, right? It's not to say that it's going to go out of my memory. It would stay in my mind, but I am not going to use it to be able to say that this is definitely how he is, right? Someone else is saying, no, not everyone is the same. Give people the opportunity and then decide. The lady at the stoplight begging for money, I learned is in fact a famous artist. I just spotted. What's this?
What was this? 9:32 a.m.
Yeah, just a while ago. I spotted her photo on the back of a book. Okay, not sure if that was actually meant for us. Yeah, but yeah, I think we need to be able to give persons a chance to be able to then form a concrete opinion on who they are.
Yeah, but then you also don't want people to lose the importance of a first impression, because then everybody think, even if I mess this up, they're gonna like think of going back to the business. No.
Go ahead, Rajiv.
You're gonna wonder. You're gonna always think, okay, well, they're gonna come back anyway. I could catch them on the next time also. That show like maybe there's a consequence to not, putting your best foot forward.
Or maybe that's the thing. We should always endeavor to put our best foot forward. But the thing of it is that sometimes where we are in public, persons have a particular opinion of us just based on seeing us without actually knowing who we are. And I always say that sometimes you have to get to know persons in order before you actually form an opinion of them, right? And we are joined by Jessica this morning. So, Jessica, our topic is, should first impressions be the lasting impression? Wait, hold.
So you answered my question and then open my mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I tell you, the seat.
Greetings, everyone. I don't think the first impression should be the last impression. As you said, people do have a concept or an idea of who they might think somebody else is based on their appearance in public or wherever. And sometimes, depending on the circumstance or situation that you meet somebody in, you might see one version of them, but in a different situation, they're a complete different person. So you have to give time and consideration and enough freedom, I guess, to know that people do change or people are different under different circumstances, etc., etc.
And what is your opinion regarding businesses? Because Rajiv, you say is one and done for him.
It's kind of one and done for me too. Yeah, especially with a bad attitude or wherever the case is.
Yeah.
It you could improve, businesses could improve, but my first experience would that would decide whether or not I would buy from you again.
And there's a common complaint I hear, especially with a lot of these social media businesses, the people that do their primary business through, like you say, Instagram DMs.
Mm-hmm.
That first message to to a potential customer means a lot.
And the tone of voice of the messages as well, the correspondence, the way they respond to the questions that you might ask. Some people get annoyed when customers ask questions. How you want me to understand what's going on?
Like, how can you be annoyed by me asking a question?
Exactly. you shouldn't be running a business, but somebody else to do the communication part,
So I don't know. I think I don't know. The reason why it is I am maybe a little bit not as strict with businesses, especially small business. Yeah, we could go ahead. It's because I know that some persons need training. Hi, caller. Good morning. Oh, we lost the call. All right. It's because I know that some persons need training, right? And I know that, yes, you're running a business and you should understand. I think one of the easiest ways when you run a business is to put yourself in the person's position, right? Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Just talking about, listening what you guys talking about, and there's a lot to be done, especially in the customer service area. Around a lot of business in St. Vincent, because just an experience on Tuesday, I had I do taxi service, right? So I had a guest wanted some local products like soap, clothing, and stuff like that. So we went up to the cruise ship terminal, wouldn't mention which shop, and we stepped into one of the shops, and the person, the staff member, was on the phone. Well, we still went in. The person still on the phone, didn't even make eye contact. And this guest is a high profile guest, eh?
Okay.
Right. Well, actually, they begin the embassy, the Canadian embassy. So we step into the shop. There was no greeting, no eye contact. Okay. The guest look around. She saw her eyes, you know what I mean? Get caught up with stuff that she wanted. She picked up. We went to the counter. The employee still on the phone. Well, I didn't say nothing. So I just watching to see exactly, you know what I mean? Then the employee was like, let me cash you now. Not even trying to sell the business more. You know what I mean? As in, okay, ma'am, that's all you want? We have this, we have that. You know what I mean? And I was like, I was astonished, my friend. You know what I mean? Because anytime we step into the shop, it should be welcoming. A smile, eye contact. Hello, good morning. How can I help you guys today? What can I get for you? We have such and such. We have this product. We have that product.
Were they on a
Even
phone
after
call or texting?
Hello?
Were they on a phone call or texting?
No, watching something maybe on YouTube because I hear in the background, like, you know what I mean? And when we leave, after we leave, the guest actually telling me, well, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
When we leave, going in the taxi, you know what I mean? And as a citizen, I was also ashamed, honestly.
Okay.
And then again, you didn't even try to sell the business with the extra miles. Because you know, sometimes they mightn't see something that they want at the time, and by you notifying them, okay, we have this product also, we have that, we have this. Would you like to try this one? You know what I mean?
True.
And I was very disappointed. And that is something we need to look into. The employers especially teach your employees. Sometimes they get teachings, yes, but they do their own thing.
Okay, so in this case, would you ever go back to that particular shop?
No.
Okay.
But I plan whenever I go back there, I will talk to the young lady.
Right. So this is what I was going to point out, right? So for me, I would not have wanted to be so quick to write off the business completely. I would have wanted to have a conversation with either the employee or the employer, right? Before writing them off.
Next time I go back, I will talk to the person and tell them, well, you know what I mean? So when somebody come into your business, you have to greet them. You have to have some sort of eye contact.
Right.
And also, you work in there, so you have to try and sell the business.
Right.
True.
So in this case, the first impression may not necessarily would be the lasting impression for you, right?
No.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks for your contribution, caller. All right. So go ahead.
This particular situation is one of the reasons some businesses have a policy where they don't allow employees to use their phone during work hours. You know, because it does get distracted. And once you're on your phone and you start scrolling, you want to watch another video and another video.
Yeah. Hi, caller, morning.
Hello, Roleza again.
Hi.
What I just heard there. Are we really making progress in this country? I know some people critique, yes, we're making progress, yes, on our own individual level, so to speak, maybe. But when all adds up and you hear these kind of horrible stories, I say horrible stories, you see. I know this, I know, for me, it's like wasting time trying to correct some of these problems. And I ain't had the energy now. But when I hear these things, it takes me back in time, as though we still live in primitive times.
Dave, okay, so the question is first impression, or should first impression be a lasting impression? What is your opinion on that?
Man, of course, well, that I am accustomed to that since I'm born. First impression make lasting impression, of course. I have had incidents. One time I remember, and that was back when, over 20, 30 years ago, going to a restaurant here, having lunch, and next thing found an unknown object in my food. And while I was trying to get the attention of somebody in the restaurant, I'm hearing somebody saying, "What's wrong with them? We not eat your food." Is that positive or negative? I don't have to ask that question. But we have a kind of people here. I tell you, I am glad maybe I am not in people's way, or I don't have to meet with these kind of on a day-to-day basis. Because when you hear these things still repeated, still happening in my country, I don't know what kind of progress we're making. Anyhow, that's my opinion, and who won't cost me. Thank you.
Well, they didn't cost you for your opinion, Dave. Thank you for contribution anyhow. All right. Okay, so for those persons listening out for the community dateline, we will bring it at 9:50. All right, 9:50. We just good morning, caller. I think that's accidental call.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, sorry, caller. You can call back. My apologies.
I want the record to show that it was Roleza that told me it was an accidental call, hence why I hit the end button.
All right. So going back to the businesses, right? And why it is I was saying that I would be quicker to give them a blind, Because I recognize that a lot of persons don't have customer service, and I don't even think sometimes a customer service has to be necessarily, let's say, taught in a sense, because it really just means you putting yourself in the position of somebody else,
Yeah,
right?
it should be basic.
Hi, Colin. Morning.
Hello?
Hi, morning. You're
Hello?
live. Morning.
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 I think, yeah, sometimes the people who work in, they just like think they have no choice. Sometimes they don't like their job. Maybe the salary, the boss, condition on which they work on.
But still,
There was a survey done in the what?
Go
What?
ahead. I guess go ahead.
There was a survey done in the United States many years ago, say that 80% of the people don't like the job, but they might stick around for the benefits or salary, etc.
Yeah, but not liking your job and wanting a salary is if you don't like your job, it still doesn't mean that you do not perform. To me, that's not an excuse.
you
you know, you still, and especially the example that the previous caller gave. A customer walked into your store. How are you going to get a salary if there are no sales? Right. So whether or not you like your job should not impact on the way in which you treat a customer or a potential customer. So I don't want for persons to walk away thinking that it's okay to treat people any which way just because you don't like your job.
Especially since you decide to stay regardless of whether or not you like the job.
Correct is right.
I guess limited opportunities in certain places might stick around.
Nah, but every end of the month or fortnightly you want your salary, so you still have to put in the work whether or not you like it, so yeah.
Yeah, and you were just saying somebody using their phone, people using their phone on the job. I saw this lady, she had a mask on at Walmart, but she put it on so she could talk on the phone. So she was talking, and I said, "Oh, that's why you have the mask on." I said, "They don't sell you out, They say, "Oh, don't sell me out, I said, "No, I won't, but you got to be careful." People wear hood sometime. I know in other cases people wear hood, and in the winter time they put the hood on and they have the thing in their ear so they could talk with and you won't see the phone and everything. So yeah. All
right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, so let's wrap up this segment. So I think I didn't finish the point.
Yeah, you were saying it shouldn't be the
and we
last.
have another caller. Okay. I'll talk very quickly after. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to everyone over there in the panel discussion. Wonderful, wonderful topic. And definitely, I found that not only in the store or in the business place, but it's all over where you are working, that those things does happen. That they don't have the courtesy, how to speak to you, how to approach you when you enter into the building or into the store or into the supermarket. They will just rough you up. And this is the thing, even though you want the stuff, they will turn you off because of the way how they deal with you or speak to you. And definitely, the phone is already a distraction that I couldn't, even in government place and different places, in business place, that you go for service and you hitting the desk, they ringing the bell, and they just ignore you, deep in the conversation, and even they turn into you, and they have the phone on silent. They would rather go answer the phone and then leave you right there, forget about they are there to serve you and not you to serve them. And this is a serious matter, and they really need to get on it, because the point is this: when I used to work in the hotel, not the hotel, in the airport overseas, we can't have no phone on us, no matter what the department you looking we into when we have lunch. And not only just airport, there are some places that you can definitely use your phone. They find you with your phone, they will fire you. And I believe we are too lax here, and we need to really take a standard, because if the customer ain't coming to buy, you ain't have no work, neither will they able to pay you, and you need to respect somebody, because I show everything a top source come in there. You can present them in a good manner, we talk to them. So it's you the problem, and you can speak to them well, right? And give them a service. Ordinary people, they will treat you anyhow. In my closing, let us take up our job very serious. Even though we don't like, I go in job already where I don't like, but I will just go there because I know I need money. But if I know I need the money, I still go there and give my best service, because I know when I leave there and go to another job, I need a resume, and I don't want them to say I didn't perform well. So I encourage those, even though you go to a place they don't like the job, they don't want where is not what you want to be, still give your best service. Anyway, to change the job, you need a resume to recommend you where you working before. Have a good day.
All right, thanks, caller. All right, so we are going to wrap up in half a second for everybody. No, half a minute for everybody. All right, so for me, the point that I was making in terms of giving the blight to small businesses is because I recognize that some persons need training, right? And I would quicker, as I asked the caller, I would quicker point out to somebody where it is that they should improve. And if after making that recommendation to that person, they do not improve, then you do not get business from me again, right? But I won't write them off based on that first time or that one-time experience.
One time is it for me. I mean, I know there's room for improvement and such. And I would point out, this is where you went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just not coming back again.
Okay, fair enough.
For me, treat your first impression like it's going to be your last impression, because not everybody going to be able to use and give you another chance.
And if you do decide to go into the small business world, do some research. You don't need no significant type of training. That is what I did. I did a lot of research. I read up. If you don't know how to talk to people, you have a situation with a customer, you want to know, how do I deal with this? Google it or talk to somebody, improve yourself. Invest in yourself.
All right. So with that point, thank you very much, co-hosts, for being here with me this morning for this segment. We are going to jump right into today's community dateline.
WEFM, the New Fresh Sound.